Effective parasite control is a crucial aspect of goat management to ensure the health and productivity of your entire herd. Two primary approaches to deworming goats include the natural and herbal remedies and chemical dewormers. Each method comes with its own sets of advantages and disadvantages. So in this video, we're going to explore the differences between the natural and chemical deworming in goats and really evaluate the pros and the cons of each approach. So let's weigh in on the pros and cons of natural versus chemical deworming. Just know that worms are the #1 killer of goats. It's a serious issue and must be taken seriously. You can get your own copy of my parasite control plan mailed right to your door to help you get this issue under control in your goat herd. Your goal while using natural deworming methods is to strengthen the health and immunity of your goats. Herbs can aid in digestion and gut health and have a soothing effect on your goats. Healthy goats are better able to keep worm loads under control. All goats have worms. It's a natural part of life. It's when they get out of control that they become a problem. And the barber pole worm is a worm that thrives in wet, humid, and hot climates, and it will kill a goat quickly. If your goats are being given natural methods of health and worming control, but they are having a severe outbreak of worms, then moving to a chemical dewormer would be advised. You can get control of that worm outbreak at that moment and then reevaluate your protocols and what's working and what isn't. Find out where the source of the worms is coming from and up your health protocols. Look more closely at what you're feeding your goats and make changes that will make the difference the next go around. Using a chemical dewormer every once in a while doesn't mean that you will always have to use them. You will actually find that there are no studies to support that natural deworming methods are effective. Now, is this because they actually don't work or because there hasn't been any studies done to actually see their effects in goats? I'm really not sure of the answer to this, but I do know that herbs like wormwood would need to be dosed at very, very high levels to be effective in killing stomach worms, really so high of a dose that it could actually kill a goat. So you need to be aware of things like that when you're working with herbs. So let's talk about the pros of the natural methods. So natural dewormers are often perceived as more environmentally friendly, as they may result in that reduced chemical residuals in the meat and the milk. Natural dewormers may help prevent the development of resistance to chemical dewormers when used strategically in a rotational deworming program. Herbal remedies are generally considered gentler on that digestive system, causing less stress to the goat and reducing the risk of negative side effects. You guys are full of it today. For those practicing sustainable and organic farming, natural deworming really lines up with those principles, allowing for a more holistic approach to goat management. Now for some cons of natural deworming methods. The efficacy of natural dewormers can vary, and their effectiveness may be influenced by a lot of factors, such as the type of parasites, the dosage, and the individual goat that you're actually dealing with. Natural dewormers may take longer to show results compared to the chemical counterparts, really potentially allowing parasites more time to reproduce. Natural methods many times don't have the strength needed to kill off the worm load. Remember, you want to use natural methods on an ongoing and long-term basis, creating a healthier goat. If you're dealing with a goat that has a significant worm load right now, chemical wormers may be the way to go to stop that worm cycle immediately and then go back to those natural methods over the long term. Okay, it's time to talk chemical dewormers. So chemical dewormers are called anthelmintics, and they should not be overused. Overuse is what causes resistance, and where there is resistance to dewormers, there will be death. It's like the final straw. Once chemical dewormers don't work, there is really nothing else to use. To control stomach worms in your goats, you'll find that chemical dewormers, if used correctly, can be the most effective immediately. It is imperative to do a fecal before giving any dewormers. If you do not know how to do that, then collect the feces from your goats, label them with the goat's name, and take them to your vet to have them do a fecal and tell you what worm eggs are found. Once you know what worms you're dealing with, then you can give the correct chemical dewormer that is effective against that worm in your area. You will not have success with chemical dewormers if you are not using the correct dewormer for the worms you are dealing with. I can't stress that enough. So you can find out everything, including types of chemical dewormers and dosages and how to do a fecal yourself in this parasite control plan for goats. Find it in the link below. And you can actually get the bundle and save on shipping when you get them together. So here are some pros of chemical deworming. So chemical dewormers are generally fast acting and effective in reducing parasite loads in goats, providing really that rapid relief from infestations. Many chemical dewormers can offer that broad spectrum coverage, targeting a variety of internal parasites with just a single treatment. But again, you have to know which worms you are dealing with so you can choose the correct dewormer that is effective in your area against that worm. Chemical dewormers often allow for precise dosage control, enabling that accurate administration based on the weight and the specific needs of that goat you're dealing with. And chemical dewormers really deliver that quick reduction in parasite load, which really helps to alleviate symptoms and to prevent further damage caused by those internal parasites. But there are cons of chemical deworming as well. So frequent and indiscriminate use of chemical dewormers really can lead to the development of resistance of those parasites, really rendering certain products less effective or completely ineffective over time. There are also concerns about the presence of chemical residues in the meat and the milk following deworming, especially if the withdrawal times are not strictly adhered to. Chemical dewormers may cause adverse side effects in some goats, such as digestive upset or allergic reactions, really just highlighting the importance of proper dosage and administration. The use of chemical dewormers may have environmental implications with concerns about residues in the manure affecting the soil and the water quality as well. So really there is a lot to think about. But there are even other worming options to think about. So Sericea lespedicea has been shown to help control worm loads, but it doesn't actually grow well in dry climates. But if it does grow in your area, consider growing it and really seeing if it has good results in your herd. You can also look into worm trapping fungi called Dunningtonia flagrans. It's really expensive, but it is a non-chemical way to control worms in goats, and bioworm is another option to think about. It is expensive as well, but it may end up being well worth it to keep your goats healthy. Ooh. The choice between all natural and chemical dewormers really is going to depend on a lot of factors that you're going to have to think about, including farm management practices and just the sustainability with your goats and really the specific needs of your herd. Integrating both approaches strategically, such as combining natural deworming on an ongoing basis with chemical ones in a rotational program, or when you're only using the chemical ones when you absolutely need it, can really be a good solution. Careful consideration of the pros and cons, really just regular monitoring of your herd and consulting with a veterinarian are essential for establishing an effective and sustainable deworming protocol tailored to the unique conditions of your goat farm, your area, and your beliefs. I truly wish you the best as you learn about this very, very important subject. And I really appreciate that you've taken the time to watch this to the very end to find out all of the details about worming your goats, because it is such an important topic. I wish you all the best.